At Tower, we're on a mission to simplify insurance. So we're making our policies easier to read and understand. Complicated insurance language is out, simple is in. With New Zealand's first car, house and contents policies awarded the right mark, plain language standard. Tower. What the world does, we undo.
You know, obviously I want to make it to the Olympics. I want to qualify for that. Like, that is the main goal. But for me, I really just want to enjoy what I'm doing and make sure that I'm happy because I want to continue doing this sport.
This Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand event is proudly brought to you by Tower Insurance.
Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the Tower Insurance New Zealand Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand National Championships. Kicking off this morning with the women's 64 kilo class, and I'll be handing over now to the announcer to introduce the athletes for today's session.
Let's welcome session 4 to the Tower OWNZ 2019 National Championships. Women's 64 kg weight class. Alright, let's introduce each athlete, please. Acknowledge the crowd, wave to fans to the live stream down there. Alright, first up, Izzy Ferguson representing functional strength. Amber Bailey representing Timaru Weightlifting. Jodie Mason representing functional strength. Ali Bateman representing strength HQ. Sienna Fisselai representing strength HQ. Lou Richards representing Otago Weightlifting. Taylor Dew representing +64. Georgia Webb representing 41 degrees weightlifting. Jamari Oosthuizen representing power station barbell. Emma McIntyre representing Otago weightlifting. Kelly McGowan representing North Fork. Paul Pollard represents as a guest. Krista Sanford Hill representing Southern Latitude Olympic Weightlifting. And rounding out the field, Mel Powell representing functional strength. Those are the athletes of the 64 kg weight class, session 4, female session. Have fun. Good luck.
Starting weight. Starting weight.
So joining me in commentary this morning, got New Zealand representative Samantha Hansen. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Simon.
Sam, some initial thoughts on what we're going to see here in the 64 kilo class. I know you're competing a little bit later today, but looking at all these ladies here, how do you think things might go?
I think this is going to be a really interesting session. There's a whole heap of really awesome girls in here, some girls I haven't seen lift before as well. couple of the young ones in there, like Sienna. I've seen her lift a few times, and she's pretty cool to watch. So it's going to be an interesting session. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The 64 kilo class, actually worldwide, is a really strong class, and it's great to see that here in New Zealand. Again, we've got a deep class and a real wide-ranging one, as you say. Young Sienna at 14 years of age, being the youngest, all the way through to pole there at knocking on the door of 49 years of age. So it's going to be a great morning. The 10-minute clock goes on now. Presentations have been done. Athletes are doing their last preparations out the back there. Sam, as an athlete, what's sort of going through your mind at this point of the competition?
At this point, I think obviously what's going through your mind, you're a little bit nervous, you're a little bit excited as well, but I think it's important to just go out there and do what you know you can do, just warm up like you're training and have fun out the back. Otherwise, you're a little bit over your head and it can kind of get away from you a little bit, but just have fun, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly, I think we lose sight of that sometimes, that these bigger events, that it's still about going out there and enjoying yourself. So, no, really looking forward to this session ahead and what we've got to come.
Yeah, for sure.
It is proper etiquette to support your athletes. When they come up, make as much noise as possible, cheer everything until they reach the platform, and then please be quiet. Let them concentrate, give them a chance to focus on what is going on. If you are sitting in the front area, try not to move too much if they are about to lift.
So Sam, let's talk a little bit more about this part of the competition and the year you've had so far. So you had a big international trip earlier in the year going to the Pacific Games. How does competing domestically differ from when you've travelled overseas to compete?
I think the biggest thing is that it feels a lot more like home. So a little bit more of a comfortable environment. You know all the people around you, and everyone in the weightlifting community is really supportive here in New Zealand. So it's always nice competing at home, but then when you go away, it kind of just, I don't know, wearing the fern as well kind of puts a little bit more, not pressure, but just makes it more exciting. And yeah, but I think just, yeah.
No, for sure. And Samoa was a pretty different competition. We had heat to cope with. As you say, it was a Commonwealth Championships as well, so athletes from all over the globe, India, Canada, Wales, I think, even came down for that one. What was something you took away when you came home and sort of reflected on that experience? What was a learning for you?
I think the biggest thing for me, that competition, I think went pretty well for me. Personally, I hit the numbers that I was hoping for in my clean and jerk anyways. And I think the biggest thing I learned over there was just staying in my own head. I have had a tendency in the past to get a little bit ahead of myself, thinking about the last numbers. But I just sat back and kind of worried about myself and what I was doing and just listening to my coaches. You were one of them. And yeah, just staying in my own head. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think of your performance there, that's exactly what you did, and you finished really strongly. So just bringing it back here, here's the session list in front of us. Young Shamari here starting, possibly first nationals, I would imagine, here for Oosthuizen, starting at 35 kilos. Well, that could change, but let's pick a couple of lifters, as we say. Sienna was on that trip to the Pacific Games, so you would have got to know her a little bit there. What stands out for you there with young Sienna?
I think I love watching Sienna lift because she's very, she's feisty, she's energetic, and she's out there to lift. That's what she does. And she's just, for her age, she's extremely impressive, the way that she composes herself on the platform. So I'm really excited to see how she goes today.
Yeah, I think we saw young Olivia yesterday, who's a year younger than Sienna. What do you make of these? And you're one of them yourself, at the ripe old age of 19 years of age. What do you make of this sort of boom that we're seeing in young female athletes wanting to come into weightlifting?
I think it's amazing. I think it's so cool that the sport is kind of, the stereotypes shifted away from it being a men's sport. Just seeing all these young girls being so excited to come and lift and, you know, even watching them training, I train with a young group myself out in Foxton in the backyard, and just seeing their confidence grow, you know, as they progress through the sport, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, look, it's wonderful to see, and as you say, it's certainly changing. When I first got into the sport, you know, close on 20 years ago, women had only just been allowed into the Olympics in Sydney. It was very much a new frontier, but now we're seeing this real proliferation. What sort of attracted you to the sport? How did you find yourself in weightlifting?
So I started out in CrossFit, like I think a lot of us have. And I did CrossFit for a while, started doing some weightlifting comps and liked it better, didn't want to exercise anymore, so switched over. But I think I just really enjoy the challenge of that lifting brings. You know, it's a very much a mental sport as well as physical, so the challenge is kind of what attracts me to it.
Yeah, awesome. And you touched on there on the mental side of things. I was talking about that with Ricky yesterday. Is what's some of the things you do to help you prepare for that moment where you walk out, and it's quite a unique situation. You walk out, you're on your own on a 4x4. Tell us what's going through your mind when you walk towards that bar.
For me, I have always been someone who doesn't really like being in front of a crowd. So for me, I walk out, I chalk up, I look at the bar, find my point on the wall, and just all that I'm thinking in my head is cues that I might have for myself. So a bit of self-talk in there. So for me, it's usually strong, big pull, and just get under it, have fun.
Yeah, that's it. So sort of decluttering, taking away that noise, walking on with belief.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I think, to be honest, I'm not sure, I could probably speak on behalf of a lot of lifters here, you kind of don't hear anything else that's going on when you do hit the platform, because you're all just, you know, you're in your head and you're not really thinking about anybody else, you just want to execute that lift.
I think it's, you know, having watched plenty of lifters walk on, it's quite an interesting space. As I say, there's a 4x4 where you can feel quite alone, but I think as lifters become more experienced and spend more time there, it actually becomes their safe space. It becomes their space where they can do their thing, and the ones that really embrace that are the ones that go on and are able to perform on the big stage.
Yeah, definitely.
A big thank you to a lot of our volunteers. We have
very good. All right, we're about 3 minutes away now from the start of this competition, so we'll be back soon, ready to start the women's 64 at the New Zealand Tower Insurance Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand National Championships.
volunteer with one of us amazing people down here. Volunteers start over. We also have technical official courses where you can learn to become a referee. Without referees, you cannot run our sport. So keep an eye on that. Barb Green is around, who's the head of our technical officials. She is running courses in lots of places with the support of her minions. Richie was one of those minions, which is always awesome. So as we look to develop our sport. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tower Insurance, Better Nutrition, D3 Tape, Raise Lower, Blue Dinosaur, and Lover Pie. Without them, we cannot put on such an amazing event. Raise Lower and D3 Tape and Blue Dinosaur are out the back. They've got lots of goodies for you to purchase. Go out and check them out. Always helps when our sponsors are getting plenty of business. You'll also see that our athletes are receiving a pie afterwards. If that isn't amazing, or some sort of sport that gives the athletes a pie afterwards, I don't know what it is. Yeah. So that's amazing. We'd also like to thank Richie and Hannah Watt, the owners of Functional Strength, for the use of their facility through the weekend. I know they put CrossFit Open on hold, so we really appreciate them using it. We are 90 seconds away from starting the first session of Saturday, Tower Insurance OWNZ 2019 National Championships. The last thing from me before we get going is hop on your social media, on your Facebook, like, share, comment, tag, share our live streams. Let it live forever on your personal page. Your loved ones crushing PRs. 50 seconds away. sure you get behind memory as you're about to get into this competition. The bar is loaded at 49 kgs for Memory's opening snatch. Clock has started.
Right, here we go with the first lifter, Jamari Oosthuizen, opening on 49 kilograms. Good opener for Jamari. Be happy with that, Sam?
Well done.
Yeah, definitely. She looks solid. I think the first one's always a bit nerve-wracking. The bar feels a little bit different to out back, but she did well to get that first one on the board.
It's always tough as well, being that very first athlete out for a session. So, Kelly McGowan to come out next, also on 49 kilograms. Oh, she's moved up. So, as we saw yesterday, plenty of changes now from the coaches out the back. Depending on how warm-ups have gone, maybe moving those start attempts up 1 or 2 kilos.
49 kgs. Stop the clock. I'll go up going well. She wants more. Loaders, 50 kgs, please. 50 kgs, and we'll bring out the big yellow coat.
We'll get another change. Sam, does this affect you as a lifter when you're out the back and you're sort of seeing all these changes? You're aware of it, or you're just focused on what you're trying to do?
No, I like to just leave it up to my coach. I just sit there in my own space and just lift when he tells me to, do what I'm told.
That's the way. As a coach, that's it. You hope that your athlete's there just focusing on their job at hand, and and you're trying to do your basic maths to make sure that you get those numbers right. So the call moves back to Hole now on 50 kilos, and she's sitting over there ready to come, but she's still sitting down, not on her feet yet. So maybe there could be, oh, here we go, there's another change.
Stop the clock.
So Jamari will go up as well. I don't think she'll take the automatic 1 kilo increase.
Bar's loaded. Start.
I think
Stop the clock.
we'll finally get a lifter come out soon. I think Kelly McGowan will come out, 52 kilos.
Ball goes back to Kelly. So warm-ups are going really well at the back. Coaches are making some changes. Take loaders, Bar's loaded. Clock has started.
Yep, here we go. We're seeing Kelly on screen now. Coach there, Stas Shalayev, Commonwealth Games silver medalist. A good, powerful start there from Kelly. You'd be happy with that, Sam?
Yeah, that was solid. That was a good lift.
Yeah, she looked really confident there, and just about power snatched if we look at the replay, I think. Yeah, I'd pass that as a power.
Thank you, loaders. Bar is loaded at 52 kgs. Clock has started.
And now we see Hole, guest lifter. She's from Canada, lives now in Wellington. And Paul got the job done there. She had a little bit of a step back from the bar. I think that maybe the 30-second buzzer might have distracted her a little bit, but was able to stay enough in the moment to get the job done.
For Yamari, this will see her come for a second attempt. Mel, please be ready. Maybe the lift to follow. At a heavier weight.
And we'll see Jamari for the second time, coming up for her second attempt on 52 kilograms. So we go from the masters athlete down to the youth athlete. Another good attempt. I think that was probably a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to get that second one on the board too, because it sets you up for that lift you were hoping for at the end. Give it a crack.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot as coaches. That the idea is to really try and build a total, work your way into it. It's tempting to try and start close to your limits, but it doesn't give you much room to sort of, as you say, settle in, calm the nerves, and then it's the old saying, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Yeah, definitely.
She wants more. Falls back on power. Falls back on power at 53 kgs. Amber, please be ready.
There'll be a few more changes here, which will bring a few more athletes into it. Put Amber there. She might shift. Izzy, Sienna, Taylor, all listed at 55, and Mel down there at 54. So this is going to bring a raft of athletes to the platform. I'm sure there'll still be some more changes. But got Mel, Amber, Bailey looks like. She's getting ready. Down from Timaru. So, heading towards the bottom of the South Island, halfway between Christchurch and Dunedin, if my geography's right. Yeah, great start from Amber. Good, strong power snatch again.
55 kgs. 55 kgs. This will bring Izzy Ferguson.
This will certainly be her first national championship, so again, she'll be really happy to get that first lift on the board.
Yeah, first nationals is always very exciting.
Thank you, Lloyd. As far as Lloyd, that 55 kgs for Izzy's first attempt. Clock has started. Sienna, please be ready. For the follow.
Here's Izzy for her first attempt, 55 kilograms. Quite there for Izzy on her first attempt. What did you see initially there, Sam, where maybe Izzy didn't quite get it right?
Just watch this replay again. Maybe just a little hesitant to get under the bar. Just she'll go out the back, sit there, and just make those adjustments, and I'm sure she'll come out and give another shot. Good shot on the next one.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit nervy as she hopped back a little bit, didn't really attack the bar, and as you say, I think she'll sit down and make that correction. Another South Island representative here, Taylor from +6'4". I think we'll see on the replay, Taylor showed some good patience and good composure there. It's always tough when you're sitting in the bottom of a snatch and things are wobbling around.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You just got to be prepared to sit there and make sure you're ready before you stand up.
Yeah, she did that well, just rode it around a little bit, but when she was ready, got it under control and stood it up.
Good lift. Now, strong opener.
As we heard Ray in the background there, it certainly was a good lift. Another strong opener. Another one from the Functional Strength Olympic Club. A number of athletes in this session. Their head coach, Richie Patterson, is the mentor and guider.
Thank you, Lotus. 55 kgs is loaded. Clock is started.
Yeah, another really strong lift there from Kelly. Seeing a lot of green on the board at the moment. Yeah, like as an athlete, Sam, when there's athletes going out and making their lifts, does that have any sort of effect, do you think? And conversely, when there's a lot of missing going on, do you think that affects the group?
I think sometimes, yeah, if you're sitting there, you're watching, if you're really nervous and you're hearing that, that big no lift in the background, it kind of, you get a bit more butterflies in your tummy. But again, just trying to stay in your lane and knowing that you can do it. Yeah.
Here comes Pole for her second attempt.
This will bring Izzy back to the platform.
Have a look at the replay here with Pole. Again, it just looked like she didn't really attack that bar with the intent required.
A little bit in front there.
Yeah. See if Izzy can make that a correction now. Well, it was much better, but unfortunately that left side just sort of got away from her a little bit, and I think that's, we'll see on the replay where there was a bit of a press out there, I think. Quite catch it there, or just there, which you can see it there, that left arm. Izzy will have a chance to try and rectify that, but now young Yamari coming up for her third and final attempt. Not there, but she'll be happy. 2 out of 3.
Yeah, definitely 2 out of 3 is good, setting her up for a good clean and jerk.
So we'll get Pole now to come out and be a little bit more confident with this third and final attempt. It's certainly there for her. Wait for the confirmation. There it is. Yeah, that was a much better attempt from Pole. She showed a much more intent right from the get-go.
Good fight there to stand it up as well.
We'll see on the replay here. Straight away from the ground. She was very happy. So here comes Izzy, needing this to stay in the competition.
No lift.
Bit of a perplexed look on Richie's face. We'll have a look at the replay. It must have been that left arm. It looked quite good from where we were. see here.
Take a look. Again, back and functional. Women's title. Thank you, loaders. 56 kgs of loaders.
That's a tough one as a coach looking at that. Yeah, there was some movement, but was it shoulder, was it elbow? But unfortunately for Izzy, maybe we'll come back to that after we've seen Louise take her first attempt. Bit of a wobble, but a majority decision. Just quickly coming back to Izzy there, Sam. It's almost an indescribable feeling when you miss all. Have been through that where you've bombed out in a competition?
Haven't yet, no, Simon, but yeah, I definitely feel for lifters who have. I mean, everyone trains so hard for these competitions, and I'm sure Izzy was training all year for this, so disappointing for her, but hopefully it doesn't set her back too far. She'll just go back and keep training hard and come back again and do it next year.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, nothing can sort of console a lifter at the time, but the beauty of time and a little bit of reflection, there's always stuff you can learn from it. But look, it happens to the best. Some of the greatest of all time have bombed out on the big stage, so it's part and parcel of the sport, unfortunately.
I always find it's those ones where you learn the most as well.
Well, to contrast, we've got Kelly now coming up for her third attempt for a shot at 3 out of 3. Yeah, fantastic. That was a really great set of snatches there from Kelly.
She'll be really happy with that. Get her on a good energy boost for her clean and jerks for sure.
Yeah, and within the space of two athletes there, we saw the high and the low of the sport of weightlifting. And I guess it's part and parcel of one of the reasons we're involved in it is for that sort of roller coaster. It's the highs, it's the lows, it's what keeps us coming back for a little bit more.
They're a very demanding sport.
Just seen young Sienna's gone up again. There's another 4 athletes at this stage sitting on 58 kilos. Amber now coming out for her second attempt. Timaru-based athlete. Another strong lift there from Amber.
That was a really good lift. She'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, a big smile as she's walked off the platform. She's got Andy Barakaskas in a corner there, Christchurch, New Zealand representative. She's looked good. Taylor also taking 58 kilos. Majority decision, that's all you need, the 2 white lights, and very similar to her first lift.
I like the patience she's got in the bottom, not in a hurry to stand up, making sure she's ready before she starts coming up out of that squat.
She's done well there, first time I've seen Taylor lift. But, so far looking good. Mel now from functional strength with her second attempt. Another really strong lift.
It's always a really good feeling as a lifter to get those first two on the board. Let you go for that one you've been hoping for.
It really allows, and we sort of talked about it, allows you to really ease into your work, and now you can walk out, as you say, with real confidence. You've got two on the board. That third one is quite often a chance to probably set a new PB. Quite for Louise, just the bar sitting here from the side, the bar swung away a little bit. We'll see here, actually, this will be a good angle for it.
Ellie Bateman, please be ready.
Yeah, just shot up off her hips a wee bit, it was out in front.
Loaded, bars loaded.
But certainly didn't lack for power or strength. I think if she can tidy that up technically, she'll get that on her next attempt. See the coaches out the back making changes. They might even be moving Louise up. Yes, they are. Give her a little bit of extra time. Oh, now seeing Elizabeth move up, which throws the call back to Amber. And Andy's approached the table. He's made a change, so I guess she's going to probably go up by another kilo at least. There we go, up to 61. Throws it back to Taylor. I'd say she'll go up.
Taylor at 60 kg. Thank you, loaded. The bar is loaded. Speed bar.
No, they're happy. She's built nicely, 55 and 58. Another 2 kilo jump. We'll give her a 3 out of 3. Not quite there. What do you see with that one there, Sam?
Wait for this replay again. Just caught a little bit far on her toes there, came up a little bit, and that's why the knee dropped down.
Yeah, that's it. Didn't quite have the extension. So I'd say that bar was out, the knee came down, and it's one of the rules in our sport. As soon as a knee touches the platform, it is a no lift. So it's got a bit of an IT issue here. Elizabeth, who hasn't been on the platform, has already had a lift ruled out. So yeah, scorecard will need to be, that's it, been fixed up.
We are back on the clock. All right.
Call comes back to Louise now. See if she can make that change. Technical adjustment. Be successful on her third attempt. You see that so often. She lost the first one in front, the second one went over the back. If she could get another attempt, it would probably go straight in the middle.
Yeah, definitely. I think that when you miss that one at the front, you're okay, I'll pull a little bit harder on this one. Sometimes it's just a little bit too much.
It certainly looks a strong and powerful athlete. I don't know how long Louise has been training. Sure she'll be back, but she got that one lift in. So now we're seeing youth representative Sienna Pesala for her first attempt. Yeah, and a good start from Sienna. It was nice and smooth. A little bit on her toes, but again, she showed some good composure just to stay tight and get up when she was ready.
Very powerful athlete.
We'll see on the replay here. Just see her right heel come up a wee bit. The big smile says she knew that she had it, and she stood up. Now Amber, again from Timaru, her third and final attempt. She's been great. Started off with a big power snatch. Showed that she can hit those full positions and get a nice little save there on 61 kilos.
Very confident lift.
Still yet to see a number of athletes into the competition.
She's done really well there. Amber.
Thank you, Lotus. Barra's loaded at 61 kg.
Mel, still got 5 athletes still to enter the competition. But here's Mel with her third and final attempt. Yeah, she got the nod of approval from coach in the background there, and rightly so. She's been very impressive.
Yeah, she looks really happy with that.
Strong through the middle, nice tight line. It was technically good as well. Now, Georgia Wed, 41 degrees, so from Wellington. Hayden Pritchard there in a corner. He'll be happy with that. It's just about a power snatch as well.
Really good lift. I think this is Georgia's first nationals as well, so she'll be stoked to get that first one on there. Calm the nerves a little bit, get ready for her next one.
Yeah, I'd pay that. That was pretty much power. It's, again, maybe that little surge of adrenaline, as you say, first nationals.
I feel like the Hulk on your first one usually.
Jody's moved up. Throw it back to Sienna.
Just relax over there. The call goes back to Sienna.
I think she will be the next lifter coming out. I don't think she'll move to 66, and George is not going to take after just power snatching 63, a 1 kilo increment. See coach there, Tina, marking the scorecard. So
stop the clock. Sienna once more.
Yeah, 65.
So goes back to Georgia.
I think that's what she'll come out and take.
64 kgs, clock is started.
I'm not sure off the top of my head what the under 15 or even under 17 records are for the 64 kilo class, but she must be getting close, and I'm sure she holds them.
Yeah, probably.
This is breakfast out for her first attempt. At 65 kgs, please. Lotus, 65 kgs. Krista is southern latitude.
Like Krista, another South Island representative.
Thank you, Lotus. Thank you, Lotus. Bar is loaded at 65 kgs. Clock press start.
She must have shifted because we can see Sienna there on camera with Big David casting a rather large shadow behind her in her corner.
Not a bad team to have training with.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, stay seated. Thank you, Lotus. Probably ready for Sienna.
strong attempt. I think that was actually a little bit better than the first one.
And really good patience as well.
On the bar, please. 66 kgs. This will be
But just having a look at those New Zealand youth records. The youth being under 17. The standard is 69 kilograms. So Sienna holds the clean and jerk in the total at this stage.
Getting yourself up nicely.
Yeah, I think that's it. She might have a crack at that next one. Here's Jodie for her first attempt. Right there for Jodie, just sort of bounced out of the bottom really. She a bit tighter on that catch, and I think that's absolutely there. We'll see on the replay here.
Thank you, Lotus. Bar is
Definitely strong enough. She'll come back and make those corrections.
Yeah, Jodie, who also fulfills the role of national selector for Olympic weightlifting New Zealand. Good to see
stop the clock.
her putting herself on the platform.
The call goes back to Georgia. At
See
66
Georgia now
kg.
coming out for her second attempt on
Thank you, Lotus.
66 kilograms. Still there's 3 athletes remaining to start their competition, but here's Georgia. Yeah, really good again from Georgia.
That was a really solid lift.
66 kgs needs to be tightened, please.
Yeah, she looks relaxed and confident. As you've said before, now she's got those first two out there. She got a really good feel of what it's like to be out here on a national platform.
Looks like she's having heaps of fun as well, which is the most important part.
Absolutely. Here's Jodie making that correction now with 66 kilos.
Good lift. Comes back, puts
And
it
she did.
away.
Nearly went the other way and left it out in front, but
This will bring the call
got it
back.
there just enough.
I think as an athlete, it's kind of two parts to this. And you're stoked that you got it, but then you're also like, damn, could have got that one on the first go. But she came back and made it. Now she can go up for her next one.
I think that's the key. The main thing is you're on the board, gets you in the game, and then you can go from it. It's when you miss your first two that you're really sort of playing catch up.
Started.
There'll be a little bit of jostling here. We'll see Richie just there making a change on the card, whether Jodie goes to 68, 69. That change come through now. Yep, she's gone to 69.
Jodie wants more.
I think knowing that the standard, after we change the weight classes, the standards were put in place, so no one's actually met that yet, but here in New Zealand, if you meet a standard, then you get to put your name to it. Slightly different at IWF level. You have to break the standard, so you have to be over 1 kilo. Sienna here is going to go to 69 and have a crack at that youth 64 kilo record.
It's looking really strong too, so hopefully this last one goes well for her.
Call back on Georgia. Third and final attempt. Stop the clock, she wants more. The table's busy out there.
Right, so here we go. I'm sure we'll see Sienna come out now for her third and final
This will
attempt.
be a record attempt for an under 15 lifter. Sienna, current holder at 68 kg.
No, unfortunately not quite there. Just wondering the way, it just sort of seemed to change her process a wee bit. I wonder if she started to think a little bit about the outcome as opposed to just staying in the process.
Yeah, maybe, and that can be really hard to do when you're approaching a lift like that, knowing that you can break a record. But I'm sure she'll come back in her next comp and absolutely nail it.
Yeah, it's certainly, just looking at the replay, it wasn't a long way away. And again, sometimes it just takes a bit of a close miss to make you think, well, actually, I could do this. But there's Georgia crushing it. 3 out of 3, another athlete. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 athletes. 3 out of 3 in the snatches.
Can't ask for anything else.
It's really great. There's a smattering of red, but predominantly green on the scoreboard, which is a good sign. And always tough when sessions start at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's probably not optimal, but they would have known that and prepared accordingly. Unfortunately not quite there for Jodie today either, so now we've got Elizabeth Bateman. Has already made a couple of changes, so I think, here we go, she's putting the belt on and getting ready to chalk up, coming out for her first attempt. 70 kilograms. And the first appearance, 25 kilo plates.
Thank you, loaders. 70 kgs loaded.
Good strong opener from Ellie Bateman there. So I haven't seen Krista lift before, but she's also lifted at 70 kilos, and both of them have got clean and jerks at 80 and Krista at 85. So this could be a nice little battle to unfold between these two athletes. Also a good strong attempt there from Krista.
She's very happy with that one.
Loaders, 71 kgs on the bar.
Certainly the exit from the platform would suggest so. It's going to be a nice, interesting tussle. Just the one athlete remaining, Emma McIntyre.
Bar is loaded at 71 kgs. Clock. Stop the clock. Let's do once more. Loaders, 73 kgs on the bar, 73.
And this is also where, as an athlete, you really got to start, staying in your own lane, thinking about what you've got to do, and just let them do what they're doing, and just trust the process.
Yeah, absolutely, and from a coach's perspective, you're trying to just manipulate the situation that get any little edge for your athlete, but ultimately making sure that you give them the opportunity to go out and finish in the best possible place. Yeah, another good lift there from Ellie.
It was a beautiful lift.
175 kgs on the bar. This will bring the call to Emma McIntyre. Representing inside.
We'll see on the replay there. Nice tight line with the bar. nicely positioned just behind the head.
Well, the call has been changed.
When it's done well, it's nice and effortless.
Loaders, 75 will stay. Call back.
Emma's gone up, so the call now will come back to Krista. If she was to be successful, she will retake the lead. Quite there, just a little bit slow off the floor, and she couldn't quite catch it up through the middle part of her left. But it certainly didn't look out of reach.
No, again, I think she'll just looking at this one here. Very close, very close.
Yeah, a little bit more extension, and that's where it needs to be. So she'll get a couple of minutes to have a think about that. She is following herself. She's made the call to go up. Shows a bit of confidence.
Thank you, loaders. Miles loaded at 76 kgs, front hair start. Stop the clock, Ellie, once more. 77, please, loaders, 77 kgs.
So they've all chosen 77. So now we should see Emma come out for her first attempt. Here we go, she's getting ready.
Thank you, loaders. Miles loaded at 77 kgs.
In out of the Otago Club. Tom Helms in the background, coach. Exceedingly powerful. That was a great opening attempt from Emma.
Setting it up for a very exciting end of the snatches.
Yeah, she made a bit of a statement there that you two stay in your playground because I'm getting ahead.
Very strong lift.
Third and final attempt. Thank you, loaders. Miles loaded at 77 kgs. Start.
However, a successful attempt here from Elizabeth. Certainly put her right back in contention. Really tidy set there from Elizabeth. She's done well there.
All three looking pretty much the same.
Yeah, which is a great sign. You'd, lucky enough to have gone to a few big international competitions, and the ones that lead the way are the ones that the technique just doesn't change. The bar and the weight might change, but... Okay, so here we are. Krista, roll the dice. 77 kilos. It's a really good attempt. 78, I reckon she probably gets it, ironically, but so that's caused that's a 7 kilo swing. So all of a sudden, Elizabeth with the 77, Krista successful on 70, has made quite a big difference. Certainly a good attempt.
Good to see her still coming off the platform smiling though, not taking herself too seriously, still just having fun.
Look, absolutely. I think we can get a little bit too consumed on outcomes, but yeah, she's gone out there. She's done her best and wasn't quite there today, but surely it will be next time. So here's Emma. Having watched that first attempt, the reasonably conservative jump to 80, but see how she goes here. It's like she got caught in two minds there. She was trying to power it, and then as she wrote it down, she sort of lost it out front a wee bit.
In this portion of the competition, then we will go to a 10-minute break where you can go out and check out our sponsors. Go and check out what they've got for sale. We've got a 10-minute coffee, Emma.
think it's there though. It's there on this next one.
Yeah, it's certainly not a strength issue, eh? So I think pretty important she gets it as well, like a 3 kilo cushion, though her start attempt is listed at 90 kilos. I'm sure, having watched Ellie change her opening attempt in the snatch, the same thing will happen in the clean and jerk, so she'll probably start a wee bit higher. It's a good little battle unfolding here. Important lift. Emma remains in the lead due to the fact that she did the 77 kilos first. We used to have a situation here where body weight came into play, but that rule was scrapped. It's now the athlete that secures the weight first that takes the lead. So she's standing up now, ready to come. 80 kilos on the bar. Final attempt for the 2019 64 kilo women.
Here it is.
Yeah, just like you said, she made that adjustment, sat nicely into the rod there, and finished with a nice lift, 80 kilograms.
It's a really good snatch. There's a lot of green on the board.
Yeah, super impressive. Just seeing the replay here. This time she just rode it down nicely, stayed in good shape, finished well. Yeah, absolutely. That's concluded a really neat beginning to the 64 kilo class. It's a handy snatch as well, nearly 20 kilos over body weight. But we'll have a 10-minute break now, and then we'll be back for the clean and jerk portion of the women's 64 kilo class competition here at the Tower Insurance Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand 2019 National Championships.
At Tower, we're on a mission to simplify insurance. So we're making our policies easier to read and understand. Complicated insurance language is out, simple is in. With New Zealand's first car, house and contents policies awarded the right mark plain language standard. Tower, what the world does, we undo.
So, welcome back to the Tower Insurance 2019 Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand National Championships. We've just concluded the snatch section of the 64 kilo women. A really good snatch section with Emma McIntyre rounding out with an 80 kilo snatch. Joining me here on the commentary, Samantha Hansen, junior New Zealand representative, who will be lifting later today. Sam, what did you make of the first part of the competition today?
It was a really impressive session. Some really good lifts from the younger lifters in there as well. A lot of green on the board, a lot of happy, smiling faces, and what have we got there? Four girls going 5. 3 for 3. So they'll be stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, yeah, 5 of them going 3 out of 3. Unfortunately, Izzy didn't quite go her way today. And then the national championships here, where there's only one medal up for grabs, the athlete isn't allowed to come out and compete in the clean and jerks. If we were at a junior or senior world championships, or indeed the Pacific Games, where a medal is given out for the snatch, the clean and jerk, and the total, then the athlete would be permitted to come out and compete in that part of the competition. But today, unfortunately, that's Izzy's day's done. So 13 remaining competitors for the second half of the competition, which will resume in about 20 seconds time with young Jamari Oosthuizen as the first lifter listed to start.
Is working hard.
Yeah, they often say it that no one lifts more weight than the bar loaders over the course of a competition. So here we are, about to get underway. Jamari Oosthuizen, young youth lifter. Snatched well, 2 from 3. Opening up on a 61 kilo clean and jerk. Yeah, good attempt. A really strong jerk there from Jamari.
She's got a total, so she's happy. She's in the competition.
It's a big relief that, as you say, secured a total, but certainly very powerful overhead. Good positions. Yeah, she'll be happy with that. And quite possibly we'll see her again before the next lifter poll is due to come out on 65 kilos. We'll probably go through these two lifters. There's a little bit of a gap before there's a few lifters due to start on 70 kilos. And then up to 80, 85, and indeed Emma's listed to come out on 90. So as we often see in these bigger fields, it sort of naturally selects itself into 3 or 4 mini sessions within the session.
Loaders, 64 kgs on the bar, 64 kgs. Thank you, loaders. Get some pace on. Well done. Thank you. Bar as well, the clock started.
While we wait for Jamari here, Sam, again, as a from an athlete perspective, finish the snatch, going through your warm-ups with a clean and jerk. Where's your headspace now?
I think it depends on how your snatches have gone, but if maybe your snatches haven't gone as how you liked it to be, it's important to leave those behind you. You know it's done, and you need to concentrate on the job you've got with your clean and jerks. So I think just switching from that headspace you might have been in before and just resetting yourself for clean and jerks.
Yeah, that's really important, that you can't dwell on what's happened. You can't change that. So you've got to start getting yourself back in the moment and focusing on a successful clean and jerk.
Can be easier said than done too, though.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in when it's your first, second competition or first national. Quite there for Jamari. Just push that jerk a little bit forward. Certainly, again, like it was a weight issue. If we watch the replay here.
A little bit hesitant too to just pop that head through.
Yeah, it's often, especially with newer, younger lifters, having that, as you say, that confidence to really put that bar behind the head.
She's throwing some heavy weight over there, so.
Yeah, 16 years of age, certainly at her first national championships, looking to clean and jerk her own body weight. And that's, put it into some sort of context. It's impressive first appearance from Jamara, and if she can be successful on this last lift, a 4 out of 6 appearance at your first nationals, she can certainly be very happy with that.
Really good going.
So some final words from the coach. Jamari chalking up for her third and final attempt in the clean and jerk, and her last attempt at the 2019 National Championships. It was a much better attempt, but there must have been a little bit of a press out there. We'll see on the replay.
68 kgs. This will bring Luke out to the platform.
Yeah, just that right arm. But still, a much better attempt.
Yeah, 113 total. 16-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully goes away having had a great experience. So here we see Louise, first attempt on 68. Only managed to get one snatch, so she'll be looking for a better set in the corner. Strong opener.
Yeah, good job. She's happy with that one.
69 kgs at the bar. 69 kgs. This will be
A number of athletes around the 70 kilo mark. We've got Pole, who's standing up, getting ready.
Can turn into a bit of a bottleneck out the back as well. So timing and everything comes into play.
Yeah, very much as a coach, this is where you're really having to second guess yourself, make sure that you haven't got your athlete ready too early, or you don't leave your run too late. Not sure what happened there. Pole just sort of motioned towards her belt as she walked off, whether the bar caught it and that put her off. Having a chat there to Nicole, who's coaching her today.
Maybe see the replay.
Take the time to again thank our sponsors, Tower Insurance, Better Nutrition, D3 Tape, Ray's Lower, Blue Dinosaur, and Lover Pie.
Well, she doesn't look too flustered. It looks, yeah, again, Nicole's talking about the belt. She's recomposed herself and here she comes for that second attempt. Well, there we go. That's how she'd wanted to have done the first one.
Yeah, much better. Sometimes when you're setting up, if something feels off, you need everything set up nice and tight, and if there's something off, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, whatever it was, she did well there. She recomposed herself, came out. That was a nice strong lift. Power clean with a nice strong jerk overhead. So pole's in the game. And now we've got Mel, the host club. 3 out of 3 in her snatches. So she'll be looking to continue that into the clean and jerks. And so far, so good for Mel. Strong opener in the clean and jerk. Good. As we talked about that bar, that time you could see behind her head. Yeah, front foot was a little bit short. We'll see what happens there as the weight gets a little bit heavier, but a good one to start with.
71 will remain.
And Nicole's drifting towards the change car. I think pole will therefore probably move up. I don't think Mel will take a 2 kilo jump. So we could be back to Louise Richards for her second attempt. That's where the call's gone. And here she comes.
This is her first national. She's been competing for a total of 1 year. And some friends of her CrossFit were signed up at the and are taking away.
Two red lights out. Quite picked that up. Did you see what might have gone wrong there?
Maybe just seeing this replay, but
Third and final attempt.
That's tough.
yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a little bit of elbows in there.
Well, yeah, the referees have seen something, and it's always easy when you get the second look. But again, we don't have it here at our championships, but internationally, coach, you're allowed a challenge. One challenge across your snatch and your clean and jerk, and I certainly would have been throwing the challenge card out there. However, Louise will get the chance to come back. Here's Pole for her third and final attempt.
Looking very composed.
A really good pole way to finish after that first one on 69, where she had a bit of an aberration, to come out and finish with 73, 4 out of 6. She'll be really chuffed with that.
That was better than her second one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Pole's a wonderful contributor, especially to the Masters community. Spent a little bit of time as the sports manager for OWNZ earlier this year. Gives a lot, not just on the platform, but off the platform as well to the sport. So now Taylor from +6'4" in Christchurch with her opening clean and jerk. Yeah, really tidy there from Taylor with her first attempt.
74 tightened on the bar. 74 tightened. 74 tightened will be for Mel.
This jerk replay.
Solid
Really
lockout.
strong. Yeah, it really was, eh? Feet were in good position. So, Kelly, as we said before, 3-time Commonwealth Games athlete. Stars Shalaev in the background, just administrating the smelling salts there. Here comes Kelly, who had a perfect 3 out of 3 in her snatches. Yeah, I thought when the buzzer went early, they must have seen something. So again, a couple of red lights, majority decision. See, we can pick something up here on the replay.
It's a strong clean.
Not a tough one. Probably that right arm, though, it was a little bit soft. But they'll get a chance to have a bit of a think while Mel comes out and also attempts 74 kilograms.
Another really good one.
Yeah, she's been exceptional, Mel. It's 5 out of 5. Snatches were powerful, and then she's continued that vein of form into the clean and jerks. You just see the jerk here. It was a really good lockout. Nice even split.
Very good day.
So, as we saw with Sienna in the snatches, those opening attempts have just been bumped up a couple of kilos. It's the call back to Kelly, who's increased by a kilogram after that first minute. We can see Stars there making another adjustment. So he's obviously pretty comfortable that the call of Kelly's could have gone the other way, and he's put her up a couple. So back to Louise, who's also gone up after a miss on her second attempt.
Last lift at her first nationals.
Yeah, really great way to finish. 3 out, 3 white lights, 75 kilos.
Backed herself, came out and absolutely smashed it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think from an athlete's point of view, and when you see the coach put the weight up after a miss, does that give you a little bit of a boost?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
It's a good. I watched a pretty incredible situation at the World Championships this year where one of the Chinese lifters open on 175 snatch, missed it both times in front. The instinct of your coach is probably to panic at that point, and the Chinese coach put him up 5 kilos. He then secured the lift. But back here on the north shore of Auckland, Amber Bailey from Timaru Weightlifting has continued her great form from the snatches. That was a really powerful opening on 76.
She powered all the snatches too, didn't she?
Certainly the first two. I think she rode that last one, didn't she, into a full snatch, but she's come out again strong here, so she's having a great day at her first nationals.
35 to 39 age category. Kill it.
That's tough as well. There was a little bit more movement than last time. But again, initial reaction was a little bit of just that right arm probably, but still, on another day, that's 2 whites and 1 red. Well, Kelly, after a perfect 3 from 3 in the snatches, is now just under a little bit of pressure here to come out and nail this third clean and jerk. Both athlete and coach don't look too concerned though. Internally, Kelly's probably feeling it a wee bit.
It'd be hard to not let all the scenarios play out in your head while you're sitting there waiting.
She's just had her clock burnt as well, so 2-minute call, but or it moved to, did it move? It must have moved, and someone's then thrown it back onto Kelly because we're down now 30 seconds left. Well, that's unfortunate from Kelly. Was forced back out. I thought actually it might have helped because gives you less time to think about it. Just took quite a long dip. Just a big dip. Quite get the drive in that right arm again. That was very tough there for Kelly. After a great snatch portion, unsuccessful with the clean and jerk.
Thank you, clock is starting.
Yeah, it was a good gutsy lift there from Taylor.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard out of the bottom, but she got it up and
It was a strong jerk. It's always good to know that an athlete that might grind their way through their cleans a bit, but when they stand up, not unlike yourself,
yeah,
a
I
little
know
bit.
that feeling all too well.
So here's Mel with a chance to go 6 out of 6 at what I think will be her first nationals.
Not quite under it there.
No, and that short split that we sort of just mentioned on her first attempt, I think came back here. You won't really see it from this one, but didn't quite get a long split, and as a result, it's not far away. But that'll come. She's relatively new to the sport.
A really good day for Mel. 5 out of 6.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there's some personal bests in there. So another functional strength lister coming out, Jodie Mason. Yeah, good start there from Jodes.
On the bar, please. 79, this will be for Sienna's opening attempt.
Good jerk there from Jodie. Nice strong lockout.
Thank you, loaded bar. Clock started for Sienna. Stop the clock, Sienna.
So Sienna's moved up one more time, so she'll be coming out on 82 kilos. In the meantime, we've got Amber. See Andy make a change there, so she's going up.
Stop the clock. Amber wants more.
Elizabeth Bateman, I'm pretty sure we'll see her go up.
This will bring the call to Ellie Bateman for her first attempt.
She's moving up.
I think so, yeah. Just the changes coming in now. Comedy, who's looking after Taylor Hugh, has just made a change as well. A little bit of jostling for position here.
Stop the clock. Ellie wants lots more. 80 kg will remain.
So it goes back to Amber.
Back to Amber.
So after all that, the call comes back to who it was originally on.
The call is on Amber. 80 kg. Second attempt.
Grindy clean, but still got a really strong lockout overhead.
Yeah, she showed some real toughness there, right? To you know, tried to power it, got pushed down, didn't panic, and then, as you said, nice strong jerk overhead. That gives her 5 out of 6. Currently in second place. Here's Taylor with her third and final attempt. Not quite there on that third. Must have been, again, a slight little press out. It was certainly a little bit forward, watching here from the side. But again, she'll be happy with that. 4 out of 6. Only missing your last ones, and it means you've probably built yourself into a place where you're attempting certainly weights you might not have ever lifted before.
Pushing yourself, it's good to see.
Thank you, Logan. Bar is loaded at 82 kg for Sienna. Opening attempt.
So now we will see Sienna coming out on 82. 82 kilos. This is a 14-year-old female athlete. Very impressive. Yeah, good strong opener there from Sienna.
It's really cool to see such a young athlete being so composed out on the platform in front of heaps of people. It's not easy.
No, and only her, I think, really in the second, third year of lifting competitively. So, yeah, showing good maturity. Here's Jodes. It was a better clean than her first attempt, but unfortunately just a little bit soft on the lockout. See from this front on replay. Yeah, just that right arm didn't quite lock out.
One more attempt.
Yeah, following herself. So Richie's gone over to the change table there, so I think he's going to pop her up a kilo. We'll throw the call to Amber.
83 kgs, please. 83 kgs.
Amber decides to change. We'll come back to Jody. I think Amber's just stood up, so she's going to come out. So that's
Hopefully we'll see her go 6 for 6.
yeah, absolutely. Well, gutsy attempt, but she couldn't quite get through that sticking point in that clean. Gave it a good nudge though. The old double bounce the first time, couldn't quite get through. Very tough now. You're using a lot of energy, as hard as she tried.
Got there.
Yeah, she really did. But here's Jodes. Yeah, it was a tough clean, but she worked her way through it. And the tactic worked of putting her up that kilo. We'll see here. Much better. Going to be pretty happy with that. Finish with an 83 kilo clean and jerk. That's the first thing you notice with Georgia. She is super powerful, eh? Like no mucking around. Picked up where she left off with the snatches there. So coming into this last group of athletes. 3 of them yet to come in, but we could see the first here in Krista, Emma, and Elizabeth Bateman.
Siena's still sitting up here with all the older girls, so she's holding her own. She's doing really well.
Yeah, she certainly is. And these are starting to get up there. Decent weights for 64 kilo female athletes. Yeah, and a good strong opener there from Krista. So she's thrown the gauntlet down. As I said at the start, the 64 kilo class seems to be sort of a mean body weight just about globally. It's the most
Very competitive.
Yeah, competitive class. And here in New Zealand, the standout athlete is Megan Gifford. Recently finished 19th at the Senior World Championships with a 92 snatch and 115 kilos in the clean and jerk. So
Very impressive.
that's where someone like a young Sienna can aspire to get to.
It was a lot like the first one, really strong.
Yeah, certainly that clean is super impressive. The jerk, the back leg just bent a little bit, and we'll see when she goes for her third attempt how she goes with that. But seriously impressive lifting for a 14-year-old. Just see that back leg dip down, but she stays strong enough.
She's really good at squeezing and keeping tight, waiting for that call.
And it's quite often the last piece of the puzzle, that overhead strength. It's the hardest to build. There's a very low training age there for someone so young. So super impressive. So Georgia with her second attempt. Well, Georgia just continues to march on.
Very good first appearance.
Yeah, it's been really impressed with her. So just having a look, check these New Zealand youth records. So Sienna is the current record holder with 88 kilos. Hence, I think we've seen her move to 89. So she'll try and improve that by 1 kilo. But first, Elizabeth Bateman will come out for her first attempt.
You'll see a different style of jerk here as well. Elizabeth uses a squat jerk. Very impressive to watch.
Yeah, as you said, the squat jerk certainly brings high anxiety levels to all those watching on.
Yeah, definitely.
But when executed well, like Elizabeth did here, good to watch. Takes tremendous amount of leg strength, upper back, not just strength, but also mobility through that thoracic spine area. Again, something that not used by many lifters, but the Chinese are particularly successful at it. So our final athlete, Emma McIntyre, will come to the platform. 90 kilos has been loaded onto the bar. In fact, she's asked for more, 94, so we won't see her for a little bit.
Sienna's moved up to 90.
She has. So obviously, coach and athlete are feeling confident there that a 4 kilo jump is doable. But firstly, Krista with her second attempt. Just couldn't quite get through that sticking point. Quite catch the bounce out of the clean. Just shot her bums here. Hips went back. They needed to come forward. Possibly there next time. Here we go. Sienna with 90 kilograms. Yeah, again, clean is super impressive, but just probably the lack of lack of training age. She's still so young. 90 kilos wasn't quite there today, but certainly not far away.
Definitely got a while to crack those records again.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand that records are there, they're nice little milestones, but more importantly at that age, it's about building confidence, strength, technique. We want to see Sienna still lifting when she's 18, 19 years of age, and
Exactly.
quite scary what she might be doing then. Here's Krista, her final attempt.
Soaking up every minute of it by the looks. She got that clean, but not quite.
No, it's much better. If we see potentially on the replay, the hip stayed square and under the bar on that one. She was able to really push through and use those thighs, and saw the end of it there. Well, she was happy to get up by the looks of things. Just didn't quite have enough left in the tank. So, 3 athletes remaining.
Georgia's just pulled out from her last lift.
Yeah, you can see her in the background. There's nothing overtly we can see the reason for that. Still 5 out of 5. It's guaranteed a spot on the podium. Just depends what colour medal. Yeah. As I said before, anxiety levels go high. You see that right over onto that right toe, but she manages to stay in control. And
Huge. So there's a testament to her strength and flexibility.
yeah, absolutely.
It's always very interesting to watch. Keeps it entertaining.
Well, it is. It's just it's sort of high risk, high reward, really. Okay. Now we should see Emma come out. If she is successful, will take the lead in the women's 64 kilo class. Super powerful, great opening attempt there from Emma, and that puts her into the gold medal position.
94 kgs Titans.
Really good jerk.
Yeah, the whole lift looked very powerful. So we'll see now. Elizabeth will need to take 98 kilos. She wants to have a crack at coming over the top of Emma, or whether there's a personal milestone she might be looking at instead.
Big fight. Just not quite there today.
No, and the clean was tough. So then to have to go down and come back up again was always going to be really difficult. But that's a fantastic effort from Elizabeth. 5 out of 6, A grade total, and second place at National Championships. So you should be very pleased with her efforts today. So our last competitor, Emma, pretty much free to lift as she pleases. Majority decision against. Again, she just wobbled around a wee bit overhead there. We'll see here on the jerk. Again, tough. Maybe that left elbow. I think I'm bringing my challenge card out again there. We'll see now whether she's put 100 kilos on the bar before in a competition, but it's a nice little milestone to maybe edge towards.
In a good position to be able to do that as well, just have a go at it.
Yeah, I think so.
This will be the last session. Please don't go anywhere. We have a prize giving.
She is our 2019 64 kilo national champion. So this lift is a free pass to have a crack at whatever she wants to. Been a good session, Sam.
Yeah, it's an exciting one, that's for sure. There's, you know, I think a lot of green on there. A lot of girls. What have we got there? 4 or 5 of them going 5 out of 6, which is awesome on a national platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, we've seen a good mix of youth through to master, but also in amongst that, Emma, Elizabeth, both at 27, 28 years of age, sort of in their prime, really, coming through and putting their hand up for potential international selection next year at a few competitions. Not quite there for Emma. Just pushed that one out in front a wee bit, but still, she can be happy that with 3 out of 6. She is this year's Tower Insurance Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand 64 kilo class national champion. So that concludes the 64 kilo class. As we talked about 14 athletes. It's a really entertaining session. A good one to start the day off. A long day. We've still got, as you can see on screen there, we've got the men's 81 kilo class coming up next with Olympic hopeful Cameron McTaggart, followed by the women's 71, which will be a stack class. That's the one that you're in, Sam. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Looking forward to it.
The men's 89, and then rounding the day off later tonight with the women's 76 and 81 kilo class. So that concludes this morning's opening session. We'll be back at 11 o'clock with the men's 81 kilo class.
At Tower, we're on a mission to simplify insurance. So we're making our policies easier to read and understand. Complicated insurance language is out, simple isn't it? With New Zealand's first car, house and contents policies awarded the right mark plain language standard. Tower, what the world does, we undo.
I think that I've got, you know, quite strong mental game. I think that also comes back to me competing from such a young age. Like, I was introduced into sport and competition very young. I enjoy the challenge. I just love it.
This Olympic Weightlifting New Zealand event is proudly brought to you by Tower Insurance.